I read another article today about a really important topic that's really facing a lot of LA residents, but I think it's affecting US cities and citizens everywhere. You know, we've had a huge influx of illegal immigration. People say migrants so they don't give it a negative connotation, but you really have to stick to the facts. It's illegal immigration. They'll push it on different subjects or different thoughts. But the important part about this video and the article that I read today was that in 2024, homelessness rose 18%. I don't understand in a country where we create so much tax revenue, we spend so much amount of money. I mean, just a couple days ago, I was telling you about the $3 trillion deficit created by the US government spending. But obviously, none of that is on us. I mean, think about the money that we've given Ukraine. And I touched about that on another subject and another topic in one of my videos with a number that I just remember when we first started giving Ukraine money. It was, I believe we gave Ukraine 100 or 120 billion dollars. And when they broke that down, the numbers, the data stated that if every homeless person in the United States was given $120,000, that would add up to what we gave Ukraine. I want you to think about that amount of money and how insane and how life-changing that money is. Now, of course, I don't think that's socially responsible, giving anybody that might have drug issues, mental health issues, that kind of money. People will take advantage of them. It might just give them more incentive and more ways of them harming themselves. You know, I don't think that's the way we need to attack this situation of homelessness. Personally, I think, a way to deal with homelessness, especially the people that are either living by choice or not living by choice, that are US citizens on the streets of our country, is creating hospitals, both mental and just health hospitals, along with not affordable housing, because a lot of these people, though it's terrible, dire times they're dealing with, it tends to be a mental or medical issue that they're dealing with. And whether that's addiction or whether that's psychological, it needs to be assessed, but it needs to be dealt with. And a lot of times we've had a lot of scams here in Southern California where Newsom and his buddies would spend billions and millions of dollars on the homeless crisis, right? They would build these affordable housing projects where it's like, I don't know how many multi-story apartment, and each unit is, I think, costs, I don't know, $200,000 or $300,000. That's insane money. And again, why would you build something like that in Venice or Santa Monica? Like, if these people have issues and we have land where nobody's living, these type of institutions and health care facilities and living facilities should be built up somewhere north of Palmdale, somewhere to east of Tehachapi, where we have a lot of desert land, where building these affordable homes could be cheap. You know, we run water everywhere, so we can irrigate it over to there. It could be very tax friendly, or more tax friendly than what they're doing now. And we could create cities that are devoted to these type of people dealing with these situations and better to handle, instead of everybody in society that's either willingly, well, how do I put this so it doesn't seem heartless? But a lot of us, we all suffer. Like, the majority of us as citizens, as people, we have to work every day just to pay our rent, right? 80% of our income is to rent, which is a horrible thing. So we're constantly living in debt. We're constantly living paycheck to paycheck, but we're participating in society. So we technically, and again, it seems heartless, but we shouldn't have to deal with living in fear or living in harm of people that choose to do drugs or have possible mental health issues. And again, this is a touchy subject. I don't think people like this should be discarded at all. But I also think just leaving them to their own means is extremely harmful to them and to other people. Now, mind you, I'm a very large, capable man. I don't tend to fear like harm coming to me, but I think about my mother. I think about the women in my lives and people that aren't as physically fortunate as I am, that could be harmed by an individual that's not psychologically stable, that they're psychologically violent. You just never know what occurs. I mean, we have all of us have our own experiences, and I have my own. There's no reason to go that negative into this video. But the important part is that we are not touching or dealing with the subject and issue of homelessness by throwing money at it. We have to be strategic, efficient, and really target the foundational issues at hand. And that's definitely not giving some corporations or businesses to create affordable housing and then just throw these people in there like animals, like it's a zoo, and expect them to somehow, come back to equilibrium. A lot of people that are in these homeless situations, they either don't want to take part in society because they're mentally ill, mentally damaged, or some have just had such terrible emotional, psychological scarring that they want nothing to do with people. They just want to be left alone. And a lot of you will say, oh, it's not by choice. But no, try talking to these people. A lot of it is by choice. This world, our living standards, our lifestyles, our society, it harms a lot of people. And a lot of people are so sensitive, they can't handle it and they can't manage it. And so there has to be a different kind, efficient approach with dealing with these people. And I just think for us as a society, taking that step back and figuring out how to build a city or a community based that's really focused and nonprofit. And when I say nonprofit, I don't mean a nonprofit organization where somebody donates $1 million. All these people employed by this nonprofit take 90% of the money and 10% goes to the people. No. This is strictly nonprofit. Again, I'm not in that area of business. What would be the most efficient way of building these properties and making sure they run efficiently without people being driven by greed and profit? But I'm sure there's a way if you sit down and you think about it and you just surround a bunch of amazing thinking heads around a table and come up with a solution. I'd definitely love to participate in that, but I'm not saying I'm the most capable person in the room to do that. I'm just saying there's a different way, and we need to handle homelessness because it's unacceptable. And it's really unacceptable that we're putting illegal immigrants in front of veterans. And I mean, there's a big issue with that. I volunteer twice a week, and a lot of the volunteering we do has to deal with getting food and necessities to veterans that deal with the same issues of homelessness that stem from scars from being in the military to just mental and emotional breakdowns or other like life situations that cause them to, go down the path of homelessness. Anyways, it's a subject we need to deal with, especially after all of this money we've given away in the last 4 or 5 years. Just random checks being handed out by the government and billions being sent to Ukraine, not to mention other proxy wars.